Check out this free video and make sure you hit like and subscribe.
I didn't see this, but so many people who did said that they got the impression. I mean, it's all over where people think that, like, there's, the old rivalry, and it did exist, with Levesque and Dwayne, from 97, 98. When, it's not a secret that Levesque and Shawn Michaels tried to keep Dwayne down, and, I think they could see him as opposition to their ruling the kingdom. And, everyone knows that, and now here we are decades later, and, they have to work together. One's on the board, one's the head of creative, but people who watched the McAfee thing were giving me the impression that they sensed that the rivalry was still there. Maybe,
Well, we've had people mention that.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, I mean, whatever the story is, whatever the claimed story is, I mean, the fact is, if you look at a lot of WrestleMania, I mean, a lot of that was built towards for a long time. A lot of it made sense, and that Rock thing made no sense, and that Cena thing made no sense. And
in what sense the Cena thing made no sense? I mean,
the guy, we had a month of storylines about how he wanted someone's soul. We were like, what the hell is this guy talking about?
That was only a week.
That was a week.
That was a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was a month before the show. He showed up.
It was in February.
He showed up. He said, I want this guy's soul. We were like, what the hell is this guy talking about?
Yeah.
And then we had like another week of television, and they replayed it, and it's like, what the hell is he talking about? And then you go to the show, and the big story is The Rock tells John Cena to take this guy out, and he does. Why? I don't know.
Because they
never explained.
Well,
he never showed up again.
It's not like that was the story. It's not like this was a long-term story.
Exactly. That's my point. That's why people think there's got to be an issue here with Rock and Triple H, because this is not a Triple H booked storyline, because it makes no sense. There's no story. It's like Rock showed up and decided he wanted to do something, and they did it. And now it's like, I thought I was just going to, cause John Cena to turn heel after 25 years, and then I was going to disappear, and that's the story. It's like, that's not a story.
But the thing is,
what's happening?
That was not Rock. That was John Cena.
No, the decision that John Cena was going to turn. Okay, so you're telling me the day of the show, John Cena decided that he was going to turn that day.
Yes.
That's what you're telling me. Okay.
Yes.
So if he had not...
Yes.
Rock just spent weeks talking about wanting someone's soul.
Yeah.
So you're telling me the show, nothing was going to happen, and he wasn't going to do anything through Mania?
That's why it was going to be. That was why it was going to be the second segment of the show. It was the second. That's why it was scheduled for the second segment.
So what was going to happen? Cena or
I figure he would do something.
He was just going to show up and say, "Nope, you don't get my soul," and Rock was just going to go away, and that was going to be it.
He was probably going to cut a promo on Cody in some form.
To build what?
To build.
Allegedly, he was just disappearing the next day and not doing Mania.
To build the turn that would happen at Mania.
He was going to cut a promo on Cody to build a turn at Mania involving another guy, and he wasn't going to be at Mania.
Well, he probably would have been at Mania for that.
But we just said he wasn't going to be at Mania, and you'd always been told he wasn't going to be at Mania.
Yeah, because the whole thing was thrown together at the last minute.
Okay, this doesn't make any sense.
Yes, because it doesn't make any sense. Because it doesn't. Because
this is why people listen to it and they go, there must be issues with Triple H and The Rock. Well, because Rock feel that like Rock is just coming in and doing whatever he wants.
Well, that's what happens.
That's why people think it.
Yes, Rock is going to do whatever he wants. We've established that for last year too. I mean, it's like he's going to do what he wants, except he did not have the power. Cody said no, so they had to change everything. Cody didn't want to do it. I'm positive that there were many people who agreed with Cody that it was not the time to turn heel. Ironically, now the fans are booing him. So that is...
Well, hold on a second. This a lot of what we have seen this week is WrestleMania weekend with a WrestleMania crowd. We have weird reactions every year at WrestleMania. If Cody is still getting booed, if he shows up on SmackDown, or if he shows up next week on Raw or next week on SmackDown, something's up, okay? Yeah. But the WrestleMania crowd is all gone home, and we're going to have regular WWE crowds in all of these cities, and we're going to find out soon whether John Cena was hurt, whether he's being booed, or whether this was just, it's WrestleMania
you mean Cody,
weekend. Cody.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, him not hitting him with that belt did not do him any favors.
Well, it probably didn't, but we don't know because we haven't seen him on TV since in front of a non-WrestleMania crowd.
That's true.
So it is possible that he will be booed, and that will be the big thing that people turn on Cody, or it won't. If you love this show, you should consider signing up at WrestlingObserver.com. WrestlingObserver.com has every show that we have ever done, over 15,000 podcasts in the archives, dating back to 2005. Searchable by show, searchable by year. Perhaps the first show you ever watched was 2008 WrestleMania? Well, you can head into the archives and you can find the podcast we did, all built around the 2008 WrestleMania. Every major show, whether it be WWE, AEW, we covered it all. 15,000 archived shows at WrestlingObserver.com. Also, when you subscribe, you get full access to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. There's a new Observer every Friday. And on top of that, we have thousands and thousands of archived issues of the Observer dating back to 1991. So again, WrestleMania 2008. Go to the archives, search WrestleMania 2008, read all of the issues surrounding that show. Of course, Wrestling Observer newsletter, 40,000 words of news and information on pro wrestling and mixed martial arts every single week. New issue comes out every Friday. New back issue comes out every Monday. You also get the discussion board. One of the best discussion boards on the internet. It's members only. If you're going to troll, well, you got to pay to troll, and there aren't too many of those. And if you cause too much trouble, you're out of there. So if you want a great place to discuss professional wrestling, it is the board. Also available as a subscriber at WrestlingObserver.com. The whole package, all of the new shows, all of the archived shows, all of the new issues of the Observer, all of the archived editions of the newsletter, all of the past episodes of Wrestling Observer Radio, Wrestling Observer Live, The Bryan and Vinny Show, Figure Four Daily, Filthy Four Daily, The Board, all of it, just $14.99 per month. The full shebang, and you can save a lot of money getting an annual subscription. A full year, you basically get 2 months free. So check it out, WrestlingObserver.com, everything you'll ever need as a fan of professional wrestling. Check it out today at 4WOnline.com.